And one of the concerns that was out there is that the ballpark would only be used for about 70 to 80 games a year and sit dormant for the other remaining days of the year. We had a lot of great suggestions from people about the things that could be done with that ballpark outside of baseball. But could you describe to me your plans for not only during the baseball season, but off-season? How would you keep it occupied going through the year?
I did talk previously a little bit about the idea of this being a multi-use facility and how synthetic turf allows us to do a lot more with events. Really, it's about your commitment, because over the 20 plus years I've been in this business, we hear a lot of talk about multi-use facilities, and there are some owners and management teams that do a good job with it, and there are others that it was lip service, as it turned out. But you look at a team like in Aberdeen, Maryland, there's a team operated by Cal Ripken and his group, and we're working with them on another project. But they were committed to being truly multi-use, and they have over 200 events in their facility because they thought about it ahead of time. They thought about their design needs, their equipment needs, scheduling, and they hired somebody just devoted to that, which we would do with this project as well. Your job, you're being hired to focus on working with promoters, working with businesses in the area that maybe have an idea of doing something out at the facility, working with the school systems on scheduling their events. It's going to be a big part of our focus. It needs to be a big part of our focus. And we're really going to welcome the community input in the types of events that can be held at the stadium.
Thank you.
Just so folks do hear it, we've had discussions with the committee, we are looking at having, not a lot, but having a few concerts. That's one of the ideas. That would all be subject to approval of the city process on that, but concerts are something. Minor league stadiums are a natural venue for concerts. You put a lot of electricity out in the center field area, so the concert promoters, concerts folks can show up, plug in, have the power they need, do a concert there. There are tours of, there's several this past summer around the country of sort of artists who go around and go to 20 or 30 minor league stadiums, and those work out very well. From our perspective, we don't become a concert promoter. The way those deals work, just so you understand the economics of it, is that concert promoter takes the risk of paying the artist, and they get the proceeds from the ticket revenue, and the stadium operator gets the concession. So we aren't in the risky business of being a concert promoter. If nobody shows up, we just sell the food the next day. So it's not we don't have that risk, but but concerts have something that have worked very well on a limited basis in minor league stadiums around the country, and we would expect to do some of that, all subject to approval by the city. We also mentioned earlier, just to mention it again, that we are looking at making this and figuring it out over the course of the next year or so to be a meeting resource for the city, a place that is able to host meetings that business folks would like to have in the city. Our friends in Boston and the Red Sox have been doing a lot of that, and we would like to be able to find ways to have our facilities set up so that business groups can host meetings there and have it work well for them, and that will be certainly something else we would be looking at. We don't expect to have a lot of events that have baseball-sized crowd during the year, but we would expect, other than the baseball games, but there will be some. There will be smaller events. There will be, there is also, of course, on a year-round basis, there's going to be the restaurant, and that will be on the commercial street side, and on a year-round basis, there will be our gift shop, pro shop, souvenir shop on Center Street. So there will be year-round presence that is operating on both of those streets. But we're very much see the next year being thinking through how the meeting piece works and how other activities work. But fundamentally, it is, and Matt mentioned it, and I just want to make it clear to people, there are in many stadiums around the country, it is the norm to have a lot of events. We will take the best practices from everywhere. It's the reason we have Matt involved. For example, he's working with a place that does 200. We're going to take some of those lessons and figure out how to do them here, so that we won't just be, we expect to be leaders in that area and find ways for the facility to be used. But the actual volume of people won't be that high. It should be clear. I mean, you know, even if there's a 200-person event happening there, you know, if you blink, they may come and go. So I mean, just to be, you know, you won't have tons of people going in and out at all hours. I mean, you should say that.
Thank you.